Madam President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the Forum 2000 Foundation, good evening. My name is Ivana Štefková. I'm a member of the board of directors of the Forum 2000 Foundation, and it's a great honor and privilege for me to take you through the evening tonight. But first of all, I would like to thank to the artists that we just saw and heard, and because they are not just artists, but very interesting personalities, so allow me just to say a couple of words about each of them. We heard Mariam Tanridagli, who is a dedicated Uyghur dancer, musician, and education, who began her artistic journey at her mother's art school at the age of 4 years. Now leading the youth unit of the Uyghur Academy Foundation, she promotes mental health and culture pride among Uyghur youth, while teaching both ballet and traditional Uyghur dance. The lady who was singing is her mother, and her name is Gülzadem Tanridagli, and she is an esteemed Uyghur folk artist and lecturer at the Mimar Sinan Fine Arts University. She has devoted her career to preserving Uyghur classical music and dance. Since 1987, she has taught and performed internationally, promoting Uyghur heritage through festivals, academic work, and media appearances. She was born in East Turkestan and lives now in Turkey. The gentleman was Enver. Apart from an excellent dancer, he is the president of the Ilham Tohti initiative and a promoter of Uyghur activists who helped establish major diaspora organizations such as the World Uyghur Congress. After leaving East Turkestan due to political persecution of his father, he worked for Radio Free Europe and has since dedicated his life to defending Uyghur human rights on the global stage. As you could have read on the screen, it was a song that was called Yaru, and the title of that is Lover. As you know, the Uyghur people are Turkic Muslim minority in East Turkestan, also known as Ximani in China, where they face ongoing repression marked by mass surveillance, arbitrary detention, and suppression of religious and cultural life. Mosques and cultural sites have been demolished, children separated from their families, and traditional language and practices restricted, amounting, according to many observers, to an attempt at cultural erasure. Traditional arts, music, and language are increasingly endangered as state pressure discourages their practice both in East Turkestan among the diaspora. Yet, though resilience, creativity, and international advocacy, Uyghur artists continue to keep their culture alive against all odds. So thank you again for your performance and also for your work. Most of you came to Prague, to this building, for the conference that we were hosting for many years in those premises that belong to Prague. And we are very grateful that we can organize this event here. And so please invite now the Deputy Mayor of Prague, Mr. Zdeněk Hřib, who will welcome you here in Prague.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests and dear friends. On behalf of the city of Prague, it's a great honor for me to welcome you here in this very building, as it would mention the premises of the city, to the Forum 2000 conference. And Prague is proud not only to be the host city but also a long-standing partner of this important gathering. This forum was built out of a vision of Václav Havel and other remarkable leaders to create a space where voices of freedom, human dignity, and democracy can come together. And I believe that this vision is more relevant today than ever. Because around the world, we can see how fragile democracy can be and how much courage it takes to defend it. And this evening, we pay tribute to those who risk everything to protect the basic rights and freedoms that many of us take for granted. And the recipients of this year's Forum 2000 International Award embody exactly this kind of courage, because in Georgia, ordinary citizens have stood up against oppression, determined to preserve their democratic future. And their struggle is not just theirs, it concerns us all. So let me be clear. Prague will always stand with those who fight for freedom, for human rights, and for democratic values. Our own history, from 1968 to 1989, has taught us that the international solidarity matters, and we know how powerful it is when the free world stands by those who resist authoritarianism. And I would like to say to the brave people of Georgia, you are not alone, and your determination inspires many of us here tonight. And I want to thank the Forum 2000 Foundation for keeping this space alive, a space for dialogue, courage, and hope. And I also thank all of you, activists, journalists, political leaders, and engaged citizens, for being here and for standing up for democracy in your countries and your communities. And last but not least, I would like to say, welcome to Prague. I wish you meaningful discussions, new connections, and renewed strength for all the struggles ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hřib, for your words. And now I would like to present the Forum 2000 International Award for Courage and Responsibility. In the past years, is there something wrong with the mic? Thank you very much. I'm not at home as Mr. Hřib. The laureates of the past years, some of them are in prison, so they cannot be here with us. Some representatives or laureates are here tonight, so we were happy at least about that. The Forum 2000 International Award for Courage and Responsibility was established in 2021 with the vision of recognizing extraordinary civic courage and actions that prioritize responsibility to the wider community, defense of democracy, and promotion of human rights and civil liberties over self-interest. The award provides an opportunity to recognize the remarkable acts and achievements of its recipients, as well as to send out clear signal that freedom and democracy are not to be taken as granted and need to be constantly fought for. In the past years, the laureates were, last year, 2024, was Rocío San Miguel, a Venezuelan lawyer and human rights activist specializing in military issues, who was unlawfully imprisoned without formal charges, and she is still in prison, still arrested now. The year before, in 2023, the laureate was Vladimir Kara-Murza, a Russian politician, author, and historian who received a 25-year sentence for openly condemning Russia's aggression in Ukraine. And the award was given to his wife in that year. Zhang Zhang was the laureate in the year 2022, a Chinese citizen, journalist, a former lawyer who reported on COVID-19, questioned the handling of the crisis, and was consequently unjustly imprisoned. The award in 2022 was presented to Jiang Chao. Zhang Zhang is still, again, arrested. And the first laureate in 2021 was Karl Gershman, a lifelong defender of democracy, human rights activist, and former president of the National Endowment for Democracy. But one of the representatives or laureates is here with us, and it's Tamara Sujú. She was receiving the prize on behalf of Rocío San Miguel in the past year. Tamara Sujú is a Venezuelan human rights lawyer, advocate, and activist. She is the executive director of a CASLA institute based in Czech Republic. She is also a representative of the World Jurist Association before the International Criminal Court, a lecturer, director of the Demos de Blanco de Venezuela and Nueva Conciencia Nacional. Tamara is a columnist in print and online newspapers. Last year, Tamara Sujú received the Forum 2000 International Award on behalf of Rocío San Miguel, who is a political prisoner, as I said, of the Nicolás Maduro brutal regime. Tamara, please, the stage is yours.
Buenas noches. Voy a decir antes de lo que tenía previsto, Germán va a traducir, Hernán, que a los venezolanos no nos cabe el corazón hoy.
First, hola? Hello?
No?
Hi. Here? Oh, yeah. So first, I want to say that before starting, that the Venezuelans today don't have enough space in our hearts.
El viernes se anunció un premio a una mujer que lideró valientemente el movimiento cívico más grande en los últimos años en el continente americano para derrocar a un dictador en las urnas.
Last Friday, a woman received an award for confronting a dictatorship and leading a civic movement to confront one of the most criminal regimes in Latin America.
María Corina Machado es el ejemplo de ser líder, de una mujer valiente que bajo las peores circunstancias, acompañada de un pueblo, se organizó de una manera magistral en el año 2024 para ir a unas elecciones en las peores condiciones, bajo persecución de un régimen opresor y derrocarlo.
María Corina Machado is proof of her leadership that with bravery in 2024 went to elections to confront this dictator Maduro.
Ese premio Nobel de la Paz es de todos los venezolanos y todos lloramos ese día junto con ella, porque creo que esta lucha cívica que hemos dado los ciudadanos contra una tiranía criminal tiene que ser un ejemplo para todos los disidentes que están hoy aquí luchando por su libertad y su democracia.
The Nobel Peace Prize that she received on Friday is an award for all the Venezuelans who are fighting for their freedom, and we are really honored for that.
Quería compartir con ustedes esa alegría.
I wanted to share with you that happiness.
El pasado año, Rocío San Miguel, abogada venezolana, defensora de derechos humanos, especialista en temas militares de seguridad y defensa, directora de la ONG Control Ciudadano, dedicada a la supervisión ciudadana de las Fuerzas Armadas y las políticas de defensa en Venezuela, recibió el Premio Internacional de Coraje y Responsabilidad de Forum 2000 y tuvo el honor de recibirlo en su nombre. Rocío sigue bajo custodia del Estado, presa desde hace 19 meses, acusada de traición a la patria, terrorismo, conspiración, asociación para delinquir, cargos con el cual el régimen acusa a media Venezuela. A Rocío se le ha negado elegir abogado de su confianza, siendo representada por defensores públicos al día de hoy.
Last year, Rocío San Miguel, a Venezuelan lawyer and human rights defender, expert on issues related to national security, the military and defense, received the International Award for Courage and Responsibility from Forum 2000. She is the director of the NGO Control Ciudadano, dedicated to citizen oversight of the armed forces and defense policy in Venezuela. I had the honor of receiving the award on her behalf. Rocío remains under state custody, imprisoned for the last 19 months. She is accused of treason, conspiracy to commit terrorism, and illicit association, charges the government has imposed on nearly half of the country's political opponents. Rocío was denied the right to choose her own lawyer and is currently being represented by public attorneys.
Rocío fue detenida en el Aeropuerto Internacional de Maiquetía junto a su hija cuando iba a salir del país. Se la llevaron a las dos, pero también se llevaron a sus dos hermanos y a su expareja. Los hermanos y su hija fueron liberados bajo medidas cautelares posteriormente, no pueden salir del país y deben presentarse en tribunales periódicamente. Al día de hoy, la audiencia de juicio ha sido postergada 4 veces, lo cual transforma el encarcelamiento de Rocío en un castigo anticipado.
Rocío was detained at the Maiquetía International Airport when she was about to leave the country with her daughter. Both were taken into custody along with her 2 brothers and her former partner. Her siblings and daughter were later released under precautionary measures, but they are prohibited from leaving the country and must regularly appear in court. As of today, the hearing of Rocío's trial has been postponed 4 times, turning her prolonged detention without trial or sentence into a form of anticipated punishment.
Hoy, el Premio Internacional del Coraje y Responsabilidad de Forum 2000 es para Mzia Amaglobeli, de 50 años, periodista georgiana reconocida por su compromiso inquebrantable con la verdad y la libertad de prensa, y también para el movimiento cívico de resistencia georgiano. Mzia es cofundadora de los medios independientes Batumelebi y Netgazeti. Ha expuesto casos de corrupción, abusos de poder y represión política en Georgia, enfrentando amenazas, censura y finalmente prisión.
Tonight, the International Award for Courage and Responsibility from Forum 2000 is presented to Mzia Amaglobeli and the resistance movement in Georgia. Mzia, a 50-year-old Georgian journalist, is recognized for her unbreakable commitment to truth and press freedom. Co-founder of the independent media outlet, co-founder of the independent media outlets Batumelebi and Netgazeti, she has exposed corruption, abuse of power, political repression in Georgia, facing threats, censorship, and now imprisonment.
En 2025 fue arrestada por cargos ampliamente considerados como motivos políticos tras un incidente ocurrido durante una protesta. Su respuesta fue una huelga de hambre de 38 días que se convirtió en un acto de resistencia pacífica que inspiró solidaridad dentro y fuera de su país. Su detención es interpretada como un castigo ejemplar a una periodista que no se alineó con el discurso oficial. En agosto de este año fue condenada a 2 años de prisión. Mzia Amaglobeli es considerada la primera prisionera política en Georgia desde el colapso de la Unión Soviética.
In 2025, she was arrested on political motivated charges following an incident during a demonstration. Her response, a 38-day hunger strike, became an act of peaceful resistance that inspired solidarity both inside and outside her country. Her arrest is viewed as an exemplary punishment against journalists who refused to align with the official narrative. In August this year, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Mzia Amaglobeli is considered one of the first political prisoners in Georgia since the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Hoy, Mzia Amaglobeli simboliza el coraje de los periodistas que defienden la verdad frente a la persecución y el autoritarismo. Su trayectoria encarna los valores de integridad, dignidad y libertad que este premio busca honrar junto al movimiento de resistencia cívica de Georgia.
Tonight, Mzia Amaglobeli symbolizes the courage of journalists who defend truth in the face of persecution and authoritarianism. Her path embodies the values of integrity, dignity, and freedom that this award seeks to honor, including that of the civic movements in Georgia.
Mzia y Rocío encarnan la misma lucha en geografías distintas, la defensa del espacio cívico frente al autoritarismo. Ambas fueron privadas de libertad por ejercer con valentía su derecho a fiscalizar el poder. Amaglobeli desde el periodismo independiente y San Miguel desde la defensa de los derechos ciudadanos y el control civil sobre el militar.
Mzia Amaglobeli and Rocío San Miguel represent the same struggle across different geographies. The defense of civic space in the face of authoritarian power. Both were imprisoned for bravely exercising their right to hold power accountable. Amaglobeli through independent journalism, and San Miguel through the defense of citizens' rights and civic oversight of the military.
Sus detenciones reflejan el uso político de la justicia como instrumento de represión, pero también revelan una fuerza moral común, la resistencia ética, la dignidad y el compromiso inquebrantable con la verdad. En ellas converjan el coraje, la conciencia democrática que hoy inspiran a quienes creen que la libertad sigue siendo posible incluso en los contextos más adversos.
Their imprisonment reveals how political justice is used as an instrument of repression, but it also exposes a shared moral strength, ethical resistance, dignity, and an unbreakable commitment to truth. Both embody the courage and democratic conscience that continue to inspire those who believe that freedom remains possible, even in the most difficult circumstances.
Este premio es un premio muy merecido para Mzia y para todo el movimiento cívico georgiano. Gracias.
This is a well-deserved award for Mzia and for all the civic movement in Georgia. Thank you.
Russian Georgian Dream Party.
Increasingly authoritarian ruling Georgian Dream Party. And he was the only candidate for the job.
EU accession negotiations on hold.
As you could see, Mzia Amaglobeli cannot be here with us tonight. And so I would like now to invite two representatives of the Georgian resistance movement and the independent media in Georgia, Tamar Rukhadze and Saba Brachveli. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to stand here before you at the Forum 2000 among such remarkable people and accept this award for courage and responsibility on behalf of Mzia Amaglobeli and the Georgian resistance movement. People who continue to speak and stand while silence feels safer. Courage and responsibility. These two words define Mzia Amaglobeli more than anything else. It was her courage in the face of enormous injustice that earned her this recognition today. And it was her deep sense of responsibility that has guided her through more than 25 years of her journalism. Both come from the same source, her profound love for her country and for the ideals of a free and democratic society. She believes with every fiber of her being that defending press freedom means giving voice to the most vulnerable, and through it, giving power to the powerless. Her courage helped her to endure imprisonment, inhuman treatment, endless intimidation, and 38 days of hunger strike. Mzia nearly lost her eyesight in detention, yet she refused to comply with the authorities' demands to repent and rejected a plea deal that could have shortened her sentence. She never once took the seat of the accused during her 7th-month trial, standing tall for hours in a glass cage, sending her words and notes to remind us that freedom is worth standing for. That image of Mzia standing unbroken inspired a nation. She has not only become the first female journalist, political prisoner in Georgia since the Soviet era, but also a very powerful symbol of our fight. Her face and her words are now everywhere, on poster banners and murals, reminding us what courage looks like when everything is at stake. But it was her responsibility that made her put her own safety and interests behind a greater cause: freedom, democracy, and Georgia's European future. A dream now threatened by the actions of our own government, of the ruling party that ironically calls itself the Georgian dream. Mzia's arrest, intended to silence dissent and crush independent media had the opposite effect. Actually, it amplified her voice and voice for all who stand for justice. Because Georgia's repressive regime forgot one simple fact. You cannot imprison the truth by imprisoning a journalist. If she were here, if Mzia were here, she would say that she accepts this award not just for herself, but on behalf of the Batumelebi and Netgazeti team and on behalf of her colleagues, the brave journalists of Georgia who are at the heart of today's resistance. And they deserve your attention, your solidarity, and your support. And we ask you, speak out for them, for Georgia's independent media, for civil society, for political prisoners, and for the citizens who refuse to surrender to Russian influence. Because this struggle is not just about one political party in power, it's about Russia's attempt, aided by our own government, to drag Georgia back into its orbit. And Georgia should not fight this alone. For the security of Europe and democracy itself begins with standing against such repressions. And we need support today, not only with words, but with actions. Actions that have real consequences for those in power who undermine democracy, suppress the media, and violate human rights. Sanctions for those who steal justice, silence dissent, and destroy institutions from within. Recently, Georgian immigrants launched a campaign, Mzia movement, and created the Mzia list. It's a list documenting those complicit in this assault on freedom. Those who fabricate cases, issue unjust sentences, spread anti-European propaganda, and attack journalists, activists, and citizens. And we call on everyone with the power to act. Use this list, hold them accountable. To stand with Georgia today means to stand for the idea that freedom and responsibility are inseparable, and that the power belongs to those brave enough to speak the truth, even when it's the most dangerous thing to do. And that's what exactly Mzia has shown us. They can lock you behind bars, they can even take away your light, but they can never break your spirit when the truth is with you. The truth is our only weapon today, and with it, we fight. We fight for freedom, because you only understand its real value once you've felt what it's like to lose it. And we have. That's why no prison bars, no fines, and no threats can silence our determination to defend freedom. So we fight, as Mzia said, before it's too late, and right to the end. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you, especially to Forum 2000 for seeing and for recognizing the Georgians' fight for their freedom, for their democratic, constitutional European future. For nearly a year, the Georgian people have come out to the streets every single day. Hundreds have faced beatings, torture and ill treatment by a government that is in open collaboration with the Belarusian KGB. Even the torture methods were copied. Thousands have faced arrests just because they were participating in a peaceful demonstration. They have faced fines so egregious that they were meant to break entire families, well exceeding 1 million euros in total. We now have over 112 political prisoners in Georgia. These are ordinary people. These are taxi drivers. These are students, teachers. These are artists, poets, anyone that dared to raise their voices. Per capita, we now have 3 times more political prisoners in Georgia than Russia does. The repressions are systematic. Through Russian-style foreign influence laws, they have attacked Georgian civil society and the free media. They have outlawed any sort of foreign aid to the Georgian people. And they threaten us with 5 years of imprisonment. Over 7 leading NGOs, including my own, have had our accounts frozen. And we now await criminal prosecution. The criminal investigations have already been launched. The directors have already gone to the prosecutor's office and to the courts. And 100 more NGOs are now being inspected with possible arrests pending against my colleagues, against my co-workers, against my friends. Despite all this, we continue our work. We continue our mission to help the Georgian people. We serve the Georgian people, and we provide them legal aid. We provide legal aid to the unjustly imprisoned, to those who are in prisons right now, to those who have faced police brutality. But the courage through which we operate cannot win alone. It cannot prevail alone. It also needs responsibility. It needs solidarity. It needs action. So what can be done by the international community? First, sanctions. We know that any collective action within the EU will be blocked, but it cannot be an excuse. We've seen Czechia, we've seen Germany, we've seen Baltic states take a unilateral approach, and this is the way that must be followed. Targeted sanctions against those who are responsible for gross human rights violations against the Georgian people would send a clear and unmistakable signal and would empower the Georgian people to continue fighting. Second, it's funding. The Georgian civil society, the free media, is a lifeline of democracy for the Georgian people. It must be sustained, not suffocated. And as as any sort of aid or donations have been outlawed by the Georgian government, well, the EU and the international community must just recognize this fact and adapt to the new reality. We need swift and flexible options right now just to get by these Kafkaesque times. And the third is to develop the international ties. We need to realize that we, the Georgians, are not just fighting for the Georgian democracy. The attack against democracy, against the fundamental freedoms and the values on which the EU stands on across the whole Europe tells us that we are in a united fight. We are all in the same fight, and thus we need to know each other, we need to meet each other and empower each other to finally prevail. Today marks the 319th day of the continuous Georgian protest. Just last year, Prime Minister Kobahidze was adamant that the protests would not survive January. He sorely underestimated the Georgian people's drive for freedom. And we just hope that the friends of the Georgian people will not. Thank you.
Tamar, Saba, thank you very much for your words, and we wish to Georgia, to the Georgian people, the return to full democracy. Thank you very much for your efforts and for being here tonight with us. We are coming to the end of this opening ceremony. Let me invite you to the late night old sessions that will take part just one floor beneath us from 9 o'clock in the evening, so in 1 hour. The topics are Tibet's climate crisis and the role of intellectuals in the struggle for democracy. And they will be in the halls Madeleine Albright and Juan Cajesi. That's it. I wish you a very nice evening and enjoy the sessions also tomorrow that start at 8 o'clock. Enjoy the evening and allow me now to invite you to a light buffet dinner. Thank you very much for being here with us and see you tomorrow.